This is 75 kilo, 165 pounds out in the red singlet, Andy Bisek. From Colorado Springs, he is ranked number 18 in the world. He's a two-time world team member, and his opponent from the Army's world-class athlete program, John Anderson. Anderson was second in the 2013 World Team Trials, and he was second in this year's 2014 Open Wrestling Championships. As we welcome to the booth, J.D. Bergman, two-time World Team member. J.D., it's great to have you up here in the booth, but as I told you earlier, I'd rather see you out there on the mat.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here, and you know, if I can't be on the mat, I'm happy to sit beside you, man. I'm excited about this. And talking about Bisek here, he's got quite the mustache on him. I'd say, you know, not many people pull it off, but what a great athlete.
Well, let me ask you this. Greco-Roman wrestling, upper body, facial hair, mustache, beard, whatever. Does that factor in, especially when you lock up head-to-head?
No, there's too much going on to even give a hoot about what's on someone's face, unlike college wrestling, and you don't have to be shaven in the Olympic style, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, besides someone having some really short stubble or something, you're not really going to notice.
You know, Jason, you talk about matchups at the Open. Bisek and Anderson, they know each other very well, don't they?
Of course they do. With the way the Minnesota Storm and the Army's world-class athlete program almost always butt heads in these finals, they've had a chance to meet quite a bit. Bisek's had the edge recently, but John Anderson's a guy who's coming on strong. He wrestled at the military academy at Army's Division I wrestler. You know, he's coming into Greco. He's still new in Greco, so you know, they know each other. They see each other quite a bit, but Anderson's still got a huge upside.
Well, that's a push out that we just saw by Bisek, so he picks up 1 point when Anderson stepped out of bounds. And JD, let's talk about the transition from freestyle to Greco. We saw you in the World Team Trials in freestyle. You are here in Daytona Beach, Florida. What's it like to wrestle both styles in the same year and compete for spots on world teams?
Yeah, well, I mean, it hasn't happened in quite a while. Last time I wrestled Greco was 2005, 2006, and you know, on one hand, it's kind of like if you hadn't ridden a bike in 9 or 10 years, you probably can figure it out. On the other hand, there's some very technical wrestlers here in Greco-Roman, and it's a big difference. So, but wrestling's wrestling. I think it boils down to that.
Yeah, I think that's what I was getting ready to say, is that wrestling is wrestling. These may be two different disciplines, but the similarity, the way you approach it and the way you execute it, the way you go into it, wrestling is wrestling. As John Anderson was cautioned, and 1 point was picked up by Bisek. He put Anderson in the down position. Now he's got the lock. He's got the gut wrench on. Can he turn him? And he does. He picks up 2 points on the gut wrench, and Bisek goes up 3-0 over John Anderson. Can he lock it again? He turns him back the other way. And back again. Will he get the points off of this? And JD, when you are in that position and you have got the gut wrench on, you want to get everything out of it you can, and that's what Andy Bisek is doing.
Anytime you get a chance on top, you have to take advantage of it. And actually today, I actually did not get a chance to even go on top in any of my matches, but that was excellent gut wrench right there. That's great technique. And you saw that Anderson hesitated a little bit on the bottom, and Bisek took advantage of it.
Well, we say wrestling is wrestling, and the point is, when you get in parterre wrestling, which is wrestling on the mat, I don't care if you're freestyle or Greco. You lock into the gut wrench and you execute it and you pick up your points. And right now, it's fair to say Andrew Bisek is having his way with John Anderson, particularly when they go down on the mat.
Yeah, especially with a 7-0 lead and you're 1 point away from a technical fall, I'd say it's a pretty safe bet that Bisek's in control. One thing that Andy's game has improved upon since his first time at the World Championships, where he was a replacement for Jake Fisher, who broke his ankle, Bisek's parterre has improved so much. I mean, it used to be with the old rules, you push, you shove, you wait for the toss, fight parterre, win a period by not giving up a point. Bisek's offense is so much better than it was 3 years ago. He's a completely different wrestler on the mat.
Well, he's certainly having a pretty good period here, is Andy Bisek. And J.D. Bergman, let's talk about your time back up in the Buckeye State. And in particular, I'm talking about Columbus, Ohio. I mean, you're a Buckeye at heart, are you not?
Absolutely, yep. Graduated from The Ohio State University.
The Ohio State, the way you work that in.
I've been fortunate enough to continue to train there at the Ohio Regional Training Center, so it's been quite a blessing to keep going at 29. So.
And you're a little familiar with the Buckeye football team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I had one play in the horseshoe.
One play in the horseshoe?
We don't really need to talk about that, though.
Oh, no. When you can have a play with the Ohio State Buckeyes on the football team, I don't care how many plays it is, that's an accomplishment.
It's JD's personal version of Rudy.
Yeah.
That's okay, we'll take it. And a great regional training center, as you alluded to, JD, in Columbus, Ohio. Regional training centers out across the United States. That's really so important to the development of our wrestlers.
Absolutely. The regional training center programs have really helped out USA Wrestling and have created some hotbeds to where elite Olympic level wrestlers can train.
First period comes to a close, and Andy Bisek out in front of John Anderson by a dominating 7-0 score. A lot of pummeling out there. As they return to their corners, you see Dan Chandler talking to Andy Bisek. Chandler, the great coach for Minnesota Storm. Omir Petrovic as well.
Just powered through, kept his lock, and scored on another turn. So in international competition, you get an opportunity to score 1 point, you probably have an opportunity to score 2. Don't leave points out on the mat. Right, JD?
Absolutely.
Second period underway in this 75-kilo match between Andy Bisek out in the red singlet and John Anderson in the blue singlet. Bisek, by virtue of a step out by Anderson, picked up 1 point and then picked up 6 points on 3 consecutive gut wrenches to take a 7-0 lead. Slip throw right there, so they're going to stand him up. No points awarded on that.
Yeah, if the athlete doesn't do anything to catch the wrestler on the way down, then it's going to be called slip throw back to your feet. Really nice leg drive out of Bisek, too. That's one thing that separates the top Greco-Roman wrestlers is just some guys forget they flex a lot of upper body and they're not driving with the legs as much as they should be.
As you look at both styles of wrestling, J.D. Bergman, and do you flip a coin? Do you lean one towards the other? How do you approach this?
Well, personally, I've been training freestyle for about all my life, and I wrestled Greco up until about 2005, 2006 of my wrestling career. And I think, as of right now, I mean, I threw my hat in the ring here in this tournament with 2 days of training, and oh boy, we got some action here.
There we go. Tried to lock it up, but Anderson slips out.
Yeah, as of right now, I mean, I'm going to keep focusing on freestyle, but you never know. I'm definitely very interested, and my hat's off to these guys. Some great opponents here today.
Well, our hat is certainly off to you because you competed so well in the World Team Trials in freestyle and then came in here to this tournament and entered the Golden Circle as well. So anytime you participate in World Team Trials in both styles in the same year, we do nothing but salute you and take our hat off to you. So,
well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was just an honor to be back on the Greco mat, so it was fun.
Well, Andrew Bisek out in front here, 7-0. They work towards the edge of the mat. Mat awareness that time by Anderson. He knows if he steps out, it's all over. Bisek trying to push him there. They head out of bounds. And they said that Bisek stepped out first, so it's going to be John Anderson who picks up the point, and what was just 1 point away from a technical superiority, it's now a 7-1 lead.
Yeah. Well, about a minute more to wrestle here.
Mat awareness, JD, is huge. You have to know where you are in the bout, and you have to know where you are on the mat.
Not near as easy to get a push out in Greco-Roman as it is in freestyle.
You think it's easier to get a push out, to push your opponent
in
out
freestyle.
of bounds in freestyle?
I think it is in freestyle just because you can grab the leg and you have a little more control. Here you can circle a little easier. There's less to grab to get a hold of to get guys out of bounds.
And sweat becomes a factor. It becomes a factor in both freestyle and Greco, but when it's upper body, it's very difficult to get that grasp sometimes. A lot of pummeling right now. 15 seconds remaining in the second period.
Yeah, most big moves are going to happen at the beginning of the match.
They work towards the out-of-bound area, and there is the takedown with 1 second remaining. The takedown by Andy Bisek, which makes it 9-1 and provides the 8-point technical superiority, with Andy Bisek defeating John Anderson in their first bout of the best of 3 series. It was Andy Bisek in control from the get-go.